Do you want to know the secrets for long-term success in the tech industry? If so, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Akash and I'm a technology executive based here in Seattle. In this video, I'll share with you what I have learned in over 2 decades of my own experience in the industry and also from those of other technology leaders. In order to thrive in the technology industry, we first need to understand it better. The technology industry is a very fast-moving industry that is constantly evolving. For example, there was no iPhone before the year 2007. The rise of the social media platforms started in mid-2000s. The growing importance of e-commerce. How often do you shop from Amazon or other online retailers? Well, that did not start happening until the mid-2000s either. And the recent pace of advancement in artificial intelligence and machine learning is absolutely astounding. Well, I think I've made my point sufficiently clear over there. Next, we need to understand that technology careers are in very high demand. They are projected to grow at a rate of 11% per annum from the year 2019 to 2029, which is much faster than the average for all other professions. The median annual wage for a tech worker is $88,000 according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, whereas the median wage for all professions is $40,000. Also noteworthy is that the entry-level salaries in the big tech companies are $130,000 a year. In addition to the high wages, the technology industry also offers endless opportunities for growth and learning. You get to constantly learn new technologies such as cloud computing, online services, gaming, and blockchain. You also get to learn soft skills like presentation skills, customer research, better communication skills, and how to manage people effectively. Also get to learn better execution skills of how can you plan, execute, and operate these services and products at scale. The best of all is you can go ahead and apply these learnings immediately and get to see the outcomes really quick. So now that we understand what the industry is like, let's understand what are some of the strategies for success in the industry. Surprise, surprise. Continuously learning and growing is extremely important given the pace of innovation in the industry. If you're not growing, you are moving backwards. So constantly leveling yourself up should be at the forefront of things that you do to succeed in the industry. The good news is almost every technology company I know has learning and development programs, and they invest heavily in leveling up their talent, be it technology skills, soft skills, or execution focused skills. Some of them even have mentorship programs where you can learn from others who have the skills that you want to go achieve. You should constantly be thinking about how can you work yourself out of a job. And by that, I don't mean that you give up your job. I just mean that you constantly take on new roles and responsibilities and are working on increasingly more important things and being more valuable to your company and the industry. As you learn new skills, you should constantly be updating your LinkedIn profile to highlight your new skills and new experiences. The best way to learn is to teach. The way I like to share my learnings with everyone is through my weekly newsletter that I run on Beehive. The reason why I run the newsletter weekly is so that it puts a eustress, which is a good form of a stress on me, to constantly be learning and constantly sharing with my audience the learnings that I have had. I also run a daily newsletter which has ChatGPT prompts that can help you 10x your potential. So I have the link below so you can sign up and also share your learnings with the world. Some people are in the B2B business, some are in the B2C business, some in the B2B2C or any other acronym that you can come up with. But all of us are in the people-to-people business. It is extremely important to develop a really strong network of meaningful connections. Via these connections, you can learn a lot and can be exposed to opportunities you were not aware of before. For example, I got my job at Electronic Arts when I casually reached out to one of my connections who had joined there. And one thing led to another, and I was at Electronic Arts, which was a very good move for me in my career. So Start nurturing your network today because this takes time. But the good thing is the value of your network compounds over time. The third strategy for success in the tech industry is to develop a growth mindset. Because we are operating on the cutting edge of technology and the innovation is so fast, you are bound to fail. You need to become resistant to failure and in some way almost celebrate failure, which is not catastrophic. You need to learn how to manage the risk, but you do need to seek out failure because that is where true learning happens. Whenever there's a new piece of technology, there is no one who is good at it by default. There are 3 stages of learning and growing in any new technology or skill. They are getting started, getting good, and getting smart about it. If you have the growth mindset and you can take the very first step and keep walking, you can go ahead and complete this journey from getting started to getting good to getting smart really quick as compared to others who want to have a plan fully laid out to get smart from day one. It doesn't happen. All of these learnings compound, and to do that, you need to have a growth mindset. You also need to be open to diverse perspectives and experiences. We are just 1 out of 8 billion people on this planet, and our perspective is, again, just 1 out of those of 8 billion. If you're trying to serve a wide enough audience and working with a very diverse team, you need to have a growth mindset and be open to listening to different perspectives and seeing where people are coming from. It might give you an idea of where to go dig for the next successful product, but if you're not open to perspectives, you will see the world with blinders on, and that is a secret for disaster in the technology industry. So keep your eyes open, build a diverse perspective, and you will succeed. While all this might seem very exciting, there are some big challenges you need to overcome in order to achieve long-term success in the technology industry. Imposter syndrome and self-doubt is very real. Oftentimes in my career, I felt like, how am I the person who is the expert in this thing, or how can I make this thing happen? Well, the answer was that there weren't really many experts in the area because everything was so new. So the mantra that I started going into things with is, if not you, then who? So do your best, get started, get good, and get smart, because someone's got to do it and it might as well be you. And on top of that, if you're okay with failure and have a growth mindset, you will end up doing way better in the long term, because your focus will be on learning from the failure and not fearing failure. In the technology industry, work-life balance can become a real challenge. Since most of our work happens on computers, and with the portability of computers and devices, it is very easy to constantly be connected and stop living our personal lives and always be working or have work in the back of our minds at all time. This is something that everyone who works in the technology industry faces. You just have to find ways to set boundaries and to prioritize self-care. I may sound like I'm repeating myself, but embracing failure and learning from mistakes is not as easy as it sounds. One of the things I was hired at EA to do was to get FIFA to adopt a virtual economy platform and then get other games to go adopt it. We ended up shipping 22 different games, but my biggest failure was we could not get FIFA to adopt it. But the learnings from that experience were super valuable. And that was the first project we were supposed to work on. So the failure was very big in my head. I could have easily let it just mess with my head, but you have to see the light at the end of the tunnel and do what you can for all of your customers to move yourself, your team, and the company forward. We now know that networking is super important, but how can you drive meaningful connections to yourself even while you sleep? To learn that, check out this video of how you can level up your LinkedIn profile in minutes and become a LinkedIn ninja. Until next time, this is Akash Mandhar signing off.